This is the bitter reality of why your narcissist partner refuses to have sex with you. Hello everyone and welcome back. Does your partner's lack of interest make it difficult for you to maintain physical proximity? I can't even begin to imagine how upsetting and perplexing this must be for you. Here are 4 main reasons why narcissistic husbands might not want to interact with their wives emotionally or sexually. What's more shocking is that these reasons run counter to the primary motivation for most males to wed: the creation of an exclusive, lifelong couplehood. You too are deserving of all the happiness and success in marriage that can be had. Let's find out the shocking explanations for why your narcissistic husband avoids kisses and hugs. Priority number 1. Your narcissistic partner may not want to get close to you because they are insecure about their own performance, which is a tough topic to broach. The problem could ruin your relationship even if you're both committed to working together to fix it. Problems with a partner who struggles with pride and arrogance can be magnified. It's possible they'll choose to tune it out entirely in favor of focusing on more pleasurable activities, like checking their bank balance or working on their latest do-it-yourself project. It's a terrible feeling of being abandoned and alone. One of you wants perfection so badly that you won't settle for anything less than their best with anyone else, and that's the worst kind of partner. My deepest sympathies are with you if this has happened to you. But try to keep in mind that you are not completely alone. Support from friends, therapists, and people in a similar position can go a long way. Never be too proud to ask for help, and always remember that you deserve to be happy in your intimate relationships. For details, see the description box below. Second, some narcissistic husbands may be emotionally and physically distant from their wives because of infidelity on the part of either or both of them. Although this justification isn't as widely accepted as the first, it's still widely used. Your partner may become emotionally or sexually distant from you, depending on the severity of the affair. You're left feeling confused and hurt after experiencing something like this. Remember that adultery is not always the cause of infidelity. But some narcissistic men have a never-ending appetite for sex and need constant affirmation. This could lead them to start asking you out on sex dates with other people. This tragic truth aptly exemplifies the pernicious effects of narcissism on romantic partnerships. If you're having trouble recovering from the effects of an affair, I recommend talking to a therapist or joining a group of people in a similar position. Number 3, it's difficult to bring up because it's one of the worst things that can happen to a woman. Some narcissistic husbands have a hard time accepting their wives' sexuality, leading them to emotionally and physically withdraw from them. The lies they tell to cover up their sexual orientation are the real problem, not their orientation itself. The men start by making their wives believe they are in love with them, when in reality they are not. If they have already begun a family together, this can be very upsetting. Understanding relationship cues is essential, but not easy. If you listen to your gut and uncover the truth, you might be able to avoid further anguish. It's important to remember that the husband's sexual orientation is less of a problem than the establishment of a false family and his dishonesty. It's true that some narcissistic husbands give up on their wives, but there's another, more cryptic reason for this. They may feel sexual attraction to their wives despite their refusal to indulge their libidinal desires. To make a woman feel unloved and unwanted, this is a dangerously narcissistic trait. That kind of poisonous dynamic calls for intervention. Fourth, the narcissistic husband's control issues contribute to his inability to show affection or engage in sexual activity with his partner. This could be frustrating and perplexing for women who may feel like they've exhausted all of their options for getting their partners to agree to go to bed with them. If a narcissistic husband views his wife as a potential threat to his sexual dominance, he is more likely to reject her advances. It may sound strange, but a narcissistic husband doesn't care if his wife does what he says. A narcissistic wife's husband may feel threatened when she shows signs of sexual pleasure. They don't give a hoot about what you want, and that includes your wife's sex preferences. They don't want to feel like they're being treated fairly if they comply. However, a narcissistic husband may revert to possessive behavior if he realizes his wife has stopped actively seeking sex. Understanding the recurring problems in a relationship with a narcissistic man requires first understanding what drew you to his sex in the first place. Getting close to one another isn't the point. Rather, it's about proving one's superiority over the other. That's why a narcissistic husband might reject his wife's advances, only to chase after her as she runs away. Seek professional assistance and make some tough choices about the relationship if you find yourself in this predicament. Remember that healing from narcissistic abuse takes time, and that's okay. You deserve a happy and healthy relationship. It's important to remember that you're not the only one whose relationship seems to be shifting and full of games. Each spouse in a marriage shares equally in the responsibilities and rewards of the union. However, if this describes your relationship, you may feel less like you're in a partnership and more like you're on a roller coaster. Given the complexity, it's important to put yourself first. Remember that not every married couple needs or wants to end their marriage. It's a very individual choice, so give it some serious thought. However, it can be beneficial to seek help from non-standard sources, such as therapists or counselors. Keep in mind that you have access to many helpful tools and people to help you out right now. Personal consultations are discussed in detail. Please let us help you on your journey. We need to start healing our wounds so that we can be together again. Recognizing why sex with a narcissistic man was so captivating in the early stages of a relationship could provide insight into the issues that frequently emerge later on. It's not about intimacy, it's about violating boundaries and feeling dominant. That's why a narcissistic husband could refuse his wife's advances, but then pursue her when she stops. These situations can be challenging, and it's important to seek assistance and make difficult decisions regarding the relationship. Keep in mind, your recovery from narcissistic abuse is a journey, and you have the right to a satisfying and healthy partnership.